Hello, hello. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and talk some baseball. So obviously, I'm not even sure how many people typically watch these, but um, I don't really care. I just do this for me. Anyways, so obviously, what I like to do these just to kind of give you guys a little bit of my thought process into like how to pick games. Sometimes it looks easy, but it's not. There's a lot of steps that I kind of start off, but basics, right? I want to go down to basics. Typically, the first thing I do, I just want to look at the results yesterday. A lot of times we, you can kind of see how some games went. So this is our Sunday night game tonight. It's low scoring. I think there's been the previous game on Friday that I think went under as well. So who knows? Maybe time for an over later on today, but we'll see. We'll check it out. There was a lot of bullpen usage yesterday between these two teams, tight game. So I can see it being a little bit more. Obviously, the Cubs are rolling. White Sox have no chance that game. Blue Jays came in late, won. Nationals, right? Big big game. But one thing that I can see here is a couple things. Jackson Holiday's finally starting to kind of hit a little bit. Hit a home run yesterday. Seems to be pretty hot. Today I'm probably gonna try to target the Orioles in some capacity. I don't think they're gonna get swept by the Nationals, but we'll see. I gotta see what that line is at. But again, I'm just kind of looking at the games first. I want to make sure that I kind of have a feel for what happened yesterday. Even though I bet a lot of baseball, sometimes I don't have the chance to truly watch every single nine inning. So yeah, the Rays blanked the Marlins, Phillies solid win, nothing too crazy. Did what they have to do. The Reds coming in clutch, low scoring game there, and it might be a game that flips into an over today. Um, Cardinals Royals, man, this Royals offense just drives me insane, man. Like, there's just no way, there shouldn't be any reason why the Royals should be struggling to score. Well, I know why. They just don't have, but they've lost. They're about to get swept, at home by the Cardinals, which, it could happen. I can see it happening. Then we got Braves, Red Sox, so on and so forth. So a lot of games, a lot of games. The Padres offense kind of struggling a bit. Wild game in Arizona. Um, Giants, low scoring game. And then the Angels and Dodgers, another wild, scoring game. Even though Otani went 0 for 6, which is crazy. You would never think Otani will go crazy. Um, go 0 for 6 in a game like that. But I just like to start off with this. Just kind of want to take a look at what happened. Um, Kind of get a feel for it, and then let's turn into today. So we're gonna start off with this game, the Astros Rangers, and you just kind of go down the line. I like to kind of go in order. But the next thing that I typically do, and then I want to check out the weather. Um, just basics, right? You kind of start off with um, some looking at the slate as a whole from the day before, and then weather, right? We want to see what's that looking like. Obviously, this is indoors, so we don't have to worry about it too much. But then we got the Phillies and Pirates, um, 70s, a lot of wind blowing, you know, left to right, which could be kind of tricky, honestly. But again, Paul Skeens pitching this game, Atlanta and Braves, another game that's going to be in the 70s, a lot of wind blowing straight to center field. Washington Orioles. This is a game here that I think could be some offense from the Orioles side. I'm gonna kind of look into that one a little bit deeper. Blue Jays Tigers indoors. This is the game here that I think is going over. I have my eye on the over here. I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper on that. And then as we can going down, you can kind of see bad weather in Chicago series. That might be an under here. 50s, cold, wind blowing in. The Wrigley Field is one of those stadiums that the wind really does affect, the could affect it. But again, the Cubs offense doesn't seem like it matters, to be honest. They just kind of go through it like it's nothing. Um, all right, and then let's see. Some of the later games, we'll kind of touch on those. Um, but for the most part, let's stick to we what we got. What's up, man? All right, let's see. See what we got. Got both those and lighter. So I think this is actually wow. Paredes leading off. That's interesting. Um, haven't really seen that before. I think that's a very interesting move here, but I don't. I can see. Let me kind of maybe. I need to see why they're doing this. So let's just go with Valdez, versus Texas. Well, this is a lefty coming in. Has been really solid over the last two starts. As you can see here, 15 inning pitch right over the last two starts. Mind you, Milwaukee and Kansas City. Not the offenses that you kind of put too much thought into it. Milwaukee, we know where they are. They're pretty average. And I just told you how much I hate Kansas City's offense. So again, we know that 15 innings, still impressive to just give up 2 runs, limiting the walks, So, but let's see how he's fared versus he's fared pretty good against this Texas team. And I got to see the line. I'm thinking the Rangers might be favored just because of no, Houston's a favorite, -120. But let's go back. I want to see this guy. So this is a guy that I just don't really trust. I think he's kind of inconsistent in the sense of like we don't know what you got. Like yes, versus Colorado, of course, pitched great, but then Seattle put up a ton of runs versus him. Only pitched 3 innings versus the Giants. Again, just one of those guys. I just don't know what you're gonna get on a consistent basis, and that's the worst kind of pitchers to back. But we know that he typically at home has been struggling a little bit more than on the road. 254 at batting average against at home could lead to some runs here, and then again, he's keeping, when you look the surface level doesn't look too bad. There's a lot of walks, putting a lot of people on. Um, so again, I don't know. It might be a game that I honestly just kind of stay away from, just because I don't really have a feel for like what could be the play here. Yeah, could you go ahead and maybe back, you know, the Rangers just to kind of keep the momentum that they got going on? But if I was to my lean on this game would be to take the Astros money line, or even honestly just back to first five with Valdez just because of this. But again, we gotta see here. Do we feel this is how the series has gone? The 4 game series, which is very, very tricky. A 1-0 game Rangers, a 6-3 Astros. Rangers come back and win 5-1. Do we think we get a split here? Right? Do we think that, the Astros can come here and, you know, salvage the split in a 4 game series? Kind of like their lineup, to be honest, today. I like their lineup construction. Um, some of these guys are starting to kind of like get a better feel for what they're doing. But again, could be one of those games. It's kind of tricky, but my lean will be Houston on the money line. So, if do you want to play that? I think that's probably the best play here. But let's move on because I don't really have I don't think I might not have a play in that game. Um, the next game on the docket, Braves in Boston, right? Surface level, right? Surface level, I like Boston to win. I think Boston takes this game. I like the price. I like Bello versus. I like this pitching matchup. Boston at plus 105. On the money line, I think Boston's the play here. Um, their lineup, seems to me that Rafaela is starting to kind of get a little bit of traction. Um, But really, it's just a little bit more of a fade against this guy. He's pitched fairly well, but a couple things. When he faces decent offenses, you could tell he gets hit hard. These three games here versus Dodgers, Diamondbacks, St. Louis, three good offenses have put him a lot of hits, at least 7 hits each. So actually, I might even look in here. What is the hits total when it comes to his line? Let's see where he's at. I use Hot Rocks. I'm gonna just kind of open that up, and I'm gonna see because it seems to me like versus elite offenses, he's gonna get hits. So it's over 5.5, 6 hits. Um, I kind of want to see how the bullpen usage was yesterday first before I kind of because if the bullpen was used quite a bit yesterday, then they might extend him a little bit. It was a fairly close game, and I know that it was a walk off, but so a lot of people pitched, right? Maybe they will be another thing that I use, guys. Let me just use bullpen usage. So I also use this right here. Very key when you're making this kind of plays, um, because this will tell you if a team is going to kind of like push a starter a little bit deeper than they typically would, right? So let's just kind of look at the Braves bullpen. How does it look? So we know that Iglesias didn't pitch yesterday, so that's good. But I will say probably the rest of their guys. We had Iglesias, Hernandez, and Dylan Lee that didn't pitch. Probably we're not gonna see someone like Pierce Johnson pitch again today. Probably won't see Bummer pitch again today. But again, decent spot. And then you look at Boston. Where is Boston Red Sox? Boston's bullpen is not doing well. So we got 4 guys that pitched yesterday, fairly significant amount of pitches. So you're gonna have to kind of lean on Liam Hendricks. Okay. Um, Greg. So honestly, what I'm thinking here is, do I want to take Boston on the full money line, knowing that their bullpen is kind of shady at this point? Maybe not. However, what I can maybe look at is either hits allowed by Mr. I want to see something deeper here. I want to see. I just want to keep seeing how he performs in terms of. I want to see his game log. So what I want to do is I want to see this guy when he's 6 hits, but I want to see when decent offenses. So we know Reds I wouldn't consider to be an offense. Dodgers, good offense, rocked. When I say rocks, it's the amount of hits. Arizona, hits. Even the Blue Jays, 6 hits, 7 hits by the Phillies. So anytime you see a little trend, obviously this is the first game of the season that doesn't even count. But anytime he pitches against a formidable offense, hits 7, 6, 8, 7, 8. So honestly, I might lean on that. If I can get a 4.5 from Boston team total, probably go that. But if not, I'm just gonna take the hits allowed by this guy. Honestly, Boston team total 4.5 plus 105. I can also look at the money line plus 105. Or I could just fade the pitcher. And then hits allowed. Let me see. Earns runs 2.5. So it seems to me like he's gonna get rocked. Let me see the first 5 innings total hits. Boston total hits in the first 5, 4.5. It's a tricky one. Okay. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to go ahead and take Boston to put up 4 runs. And then we're going to look at the splits. Now we got lefties hitting him hard as far as like power, right? 6 home runs, 8 walks. So what I want to do is then I'm going to take Boston's 3.5, and then we're going to take we're just going to combine it with another team, and then I'm going to use Spencer differently. So we got Boston 3.5 runs, and I like the other game. There's going to be runs. Let me look at Baltimore. I think Baltimore is the next game that I want to kind of maybe combine with Boston here. I have a hard time with the Orioles. So Eflin, Soroka. Soroka has been getting hit hard. So again, if I can get a 3.5 number with this guy, Washington's bullpen is destroyed. They don't have a lot of people that are going to be even available. So if you look at Washington, look at this. Look at Nationals bullpen. I mean, absolutely destroyed. They don't have people. Honestly, they don't have a lot of people to throw out there. So throughout the game, if we can get Boston, let me see what that line is. I mean, the Baltimore. Man, it's over 4.5. See, I don't. That's minus 155 is too much juice to trust a Baltimore team that's just been. But what I'm gonna do is then okay, great. I'll go ahead. Let's go with what Soroka is doing. So I'm gonna just turn into I want to find a prop then. So we know he's been getting hit hard. However, this is where we gotta go to Baseball Savant to find our props. So Michael Soroka. What are we gonna feature here? This guy is gonna be someone that's gonna throw. Typically, I would say I would just consider him a 4-pitch mix. A lot of 4-seam slurve. All right, it's gonna be the 75% of his pitches are gonna be between the 4-seamer and the slurve. So versus lefties, 4-seamer and slurve changeup. A 3-pitch guy versus lefties. I want to back that for a couple of reasons. I want to find a lefty in the Baltimore lineup. The win in Baltimore, straight up to their side. So we know we got potential there to hit off the wall, total base, hit run RBI, something along those lines. I'm going to pick someone in there. Now, how do we do that, right? Then we got to look at, start with obviously the most common. We took Holiday, pretty good, but I think Henderson has a bounce back day today. But I want to see how he's doing against the 4-seamer. 4-seamer, he's okay. I think he's doing okay. Now the slurve. I mean, look at the numbers on that slurve. So far, only 3 pitches, but he's demolished all 3 pitches. But I like to kind of see also how people have performed in the past. In the slurve, not a lot of sweeper. The slurve can kind of be like a curveball in a sense, but then you got the changeup, hits it pretty well. But maybe there are other values out there because I know Henderson's going to be fairly probably juiced. Actually, half bases plus 100, 1.5. Now, another guy that I want to look into here for Baltimore is Jackson Holiday. So we're going to keep going down the line. We're going to keep going down the line. Soroka. Let's see. So the next one that we want to check out. Let's go with O'Hearn. Another guy that Ryan O'Hearn. Look at these numbers. Dude is balling. People don't realize, but he's balling. He's doing really, really good, man. He hits hard. He hits the ball hard. Look at that hard hit percentage. That's what you want, honestly. You live with the results. If people are hitting the ball hard, that's baseball. You just kind of live with it. If it's an out, it is what it is. As soon as they put it in play and they kind of like fight, fastball destroys it. Slurve, not the greatest, with it, but last year when he did get a couple slurve pitches, mash, um, change up, okay, but he's gonna destroy if a four seamer comes down from it. So I think O'Hearn could be a great hit to run RBI. He's probably gonna hit in that second or third hole, maybe even fourth. Um, Projected lineups. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, Ryan O'Hearn hitting fifth here with all these guys in front of him. I like his hits, runs, RBIs, just on pure value. Um, because we know Holidays is a little hot, so he could probably draw a walk, get on, great. Henderson in front of him could hit a double. Rutschman is the kind of out here. He's been struggling a lot, but then right on behind him, you got another lefty, Mullins, right? That and then Urias at the bottom is pretty hot too. So O'Hearn is in that. I love four and fifth spots for my hits, runs, RBIs because there's so many potential. You can get a hit, double, then brought in by someone that's behind you, like a Mullins. You can drive in someone that gets on in front of you. There's a lot of potential for O'Hearn today, um, which I think that's what I'm going to roll with for that game. Is the hits, run, RBI for O'Hearn, which should be pretty good. Oh, freak. Oh, yeah. Since at least juiced, it's minus 151 over 1.5. I don't like that. So I might just have to go with the bases, or this is what I'm going to do. I told you guys, I love the 3.5 for Boston. Give me O'Hearn to get a hit. Rex's team total over 3.5. You give me plus 122. I'm going to call that a day, and we don't have to overcomplicate our lives, right? So there's a winner. It's going to be Boston to give us 4 runs, O'Hearn to give me a hit. Plus 122, something like that. I love to put little two things because I just don't want to pay like minus 150 for hits or RBIs. I just think that's too much. So I just want to, I'll combine it with both with 2 spots that we like. So what I'm going to do is then I'll do that. And then now I'm going back to someone that I loved, honestly, and that is Jose Ramirez. I love Jose Ramirez. Well, first, let's look at Cincinnati's weather. How we're looking here. Boom. Facing a lefty. Listen, anytime Jose Ramirez faces a lefty, he needs to be on your card. You guys got to put him to do your research with him because Jose Ramirez mashes lefties. Doesn't matter who it is. The dude mashes them. If he didn't get a hit yesterday, he's gonna get one today. Or dang. So it was, 4-1. They've lost 2 games. I think this is a game. Jose Ramirez batting second versus Abbott 2 for 5. Abbott's been great, honestly, this year. At home, even greater. But again, White Sox, okay. Very impressive. Colorado, So, a couple things here. Baltimore, terrible versus lefty this year. Oh, hold on. Sorry, guys. I didn't even share my screen. But a couple things that you have to take into consideration when you look at these numbers. You can see this, Abbott. You can say, oh my God, he's been balling. Okay, White Sox, whatever. Atlanta, that's a good outing out there in Atlanta. Good outing versus but 4 walks versus the Cardinals. Then you got Colorado, got hit around 5 walks. Now, Baltimore, terrible versus lefties. So honestly, his game log does not look very impressive. His numbers do. However, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Colorado, White Sox. So in reality, I think this is a game that Andrew Abbott's going to get rocked. I see it. I feel it. And if you're going to give me Jose Ramirez, hits, runs, RBIs, you know what? I'm just going to take the total basis for J. Ram. minus 105. Um, to me, that's a great, and I might even take their money line. So, but I'm gonna take J Ram for now. Let's dive a little bit deeper into it. Why I like J Ram? Abbott, right? Let's go look at Abbott. And my son is waking up. When you see everything, everything looks great. Fastball velocity is not gonna go blow you by you. Walks a lot, ton of walks. Um, Not a lot of ground ball percentage. That means a lot of things in the air. So I might even take Yamram for a hit or home run today. But four seam changeup. So he's gonna throw that four seam changeup a lot. What does Yamram hit a lot? You're gonna see it. Watch this. So fastball, changeup, not doing great. But look at his historically. Historically, he handles the changeup decently, right? Historically, he handles it decently. So it might just be a short sample. It's only been, not that many, as far as it. But again, this is more of a feel thing. That's where I was talking to you about numbers and feel. You got to combine them. I like JRAM today. Honestly, I like the Guardians. I like the Guardians to win on the money line straight up. Um, yes, it's gonna be Luis Ortiz. Ortiz has been doing better. Honestly, the Phillies was a great outing versus Philadelphia. Pitched great versus Minnesota, which were they're pretty hot now. So he has these little spots where he pitches well. It's just away he's been getting destroyed during the day, destroyed. So again, it might just be on the situation where I also probably look into like to go running back with Eli De La Cruz, even though he just went 0 for 4 with 4 Ks. De La Cruz has been struggling. So I would love to back him, but man, I mean during the day, he's a little demon, man. He hits hard. Come on, close this shit off, bro. I don't need to see you. Come on, ESPN. Bro, I don't want to learn more. How do I close this? Thank you. Close it. All right. So, all right. During the day, we know that he's gonna hit hard. He's gonna play. Maybe this is a situation that he just sees the ball better than that. But man, the last 15 days, the last 2 weeks, look at this. That's just too many. There's just too many strikeouts. He's going back to what he was doing last year. I don't understand why. I mean, some of the strikeouts that he had yesterday, if you watched that game, we were right down the middle. Swing the bat. Swing the bat, bro. You're so fast. You can do a ground ball. You're going to probably beat it out if he's not even that hard. So the last 2 weeks just been one of those things that man, pisses me off. So I might even honestly probably stay off of him. Maybe put him in in some capacity just because he has so much talent and just put it in the hits run RBIs, just get hit, get stolen base, hit, run, that kind of thing. But I like Cleveland on the money line. I like Jose Ramirez to have a big game. That's kind of what I'm leaning on right now. So those would be the spots that I like. So far I got 2 plays. Let's see what else we got on today's slate. All right, so let's go back to the slate. The 1 p.m. games. I'm not probably gonna pass on this game. Don't have a good feel for it. Don't want to force it. I'm not gonna really touch it. Um, Already have the Boston's 3.5. I like Boston to win too. So I'm gonna put a little bit of a lay here because I'm some money plus money, Boston plus money, Guardians plus money. Um, I took Ryan Hearn here, but I'm also gonna take another one to another lay, another player. Now, Barrios versus Joby and the Blue Jays. Rays and Marlins, Twins and Brewers later on. This Twins and Brewers, I think, I believe so. Let me just kind of phrase this. 13-game winning streak by the Twins. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. But I'm also not gonna take Milwaukee minus 155. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to fade the Twins in a good spot, but minus 155 for Milwaukee, mm, just not for me. Just not for me. I would say another game that I'm probably gonna pass. But again, Freddie Peralta is a great pitcher, but also so inconsistent. So you can have a freaking masterful, or you can have a game in which he's just gonna get destroyed. One guy that I love to bounce back, Mr. Churio. Why do I like to come back? He has too much talent. Being back in that number two spot, I'm gonna show you something. Another thing that you have to kind of understand about baseball. People are habit, right? Players are all about habits. He got moved down on the line 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. But honestly, most of his production is coming out of that second spot, right? Where he has the most home runs, doubles, you know, so on and so forth. So he's just struggling right now. He's just going through it. He's hitting 120, 226 over the last, even 236 over the last month. Not a lot of pop. Hasn't really been, again, strikeouts. Too many strikeouts, honestly. But again, I think this is a game in which I think he could bounce back. Day hitter. He's another guy that likes to hit during the day. I'm not gonna play him, but I would say this is one guy to keep an eye on today. I think he has a big game. Um, so we'll just kind of keep it in back of our heads. All right. This game here, I think this is a game where we're gonna see a little bit of an under here. I think Jose Barrios is gonna get hit hard. Um, kind of like the lineup that we got out there for Detroit, like the lineup that we got here for Joby. I mean, for the Santander being back. Luke's is playing great. Um, this guy, I don't even know why he's getting reps at this point, but whatever. But some of the other guys here are starting to kind of swing. Kirk is doing a great job, hitting. Had a nice clutch hit yesterday. Bounce back spot. So I like fading rookies on the road. Okay. Keep in mind, the guy's a rookie. He's 3-0. That whip is a little bit high. So what I like about fading is the fact that look at this ERA away. It's a different mound. It's a different routine. It's a different everything. In 4 games that he started, he's getting rocked, on the road. Um, I mean, righties are hitting him hard. Yes, he has had some okay games. Boston dominated at home. Went to Colorado, got rocked. Went to Houston, got rocked. Seattle got hit hard. So I think this is an over game between Barrios and between Doby. So the full game, honestly, not even the first 5. I think there's going to be runs in this particular game. So let me see what that looks like. 8.5. I'm going to take that over 8.5. Detroit and Toronto. I think this is 2 teams that put up some runs today. You kind of take it and you run with it. There's really nothing with it. You live with the results. These are 2 guys. Barrios, hittable. He's not going to be an ace. He's not going to shut down the Tigers. Tigers are playing great baseball. They didn't hit very well yesterday, but I think this is definitely a bounce back. If you get 3 to 4 runs, I think Toronto today can get 5 to 6 runs. So I think that's why I like that 8.5. So that's my another spot. That's a third play that I have. Now, my team. Let's talk a little bit about the Rays, man. Shane Bass versus Quantrill. Man, Shane Bass has been getting there. His ass kicked lately. That dude started out on fire. He's been pitching great, but at home, for some reason, he cannot pitch at home. He goes on the road, he's a beast. But look at the home and away splits are incredible. I mean, absolutely crazy. 21 earned runs at home, 5 home runs. It's just Tom Briner Field is not easy to pitch. It's kind of like Yankee Stadium dimension. But man, having a hard time just kind of seeing when is the turnaround. Because what you see here, these are teams that like Kansas City, 9 hits, 7 runs. Come on, right? San Diego masterful. But man, having a hard time kind of backing Shane Bass. I don't know if I want to take a juice money line from the Rays, even though it's my team, minus 165. Oof. I don't know if I want to touch that. However, I can see some props. I want to see some props. I kind of want to talk a little bit about Quantrill. Um, and what I would like here with Quantrill and the lineup from Miami, I think Quantrill is on his way to get DFA. I mean, he's pitched better the last two starts, a little bit better. Dodgers was kind of impressive, honestly. 1 run. Um, honestly, even this, almost 5 innings and only give up only give up three, but however, you know what I'm saying. Um, but there's some interesting, but I think the splits here is what gets me. Look at righties. Look at this. Righties are absolutely mashing this dude. So we need to find a spot for a righty in the race lineup tonight. So what do we do? One thing that I want to do. This is where we go to Kyle Quantrill. This is what we do. We need to see what is he featuring. But look at these numbers. My gosh, terrible, terrible. So, all right, he likes to throw a lot of pitches. He's gonna start out with the four seamer, follow that by a curveball, slider, and then a bunch of other crap, sinker, whatever. So what we do is I want to start with Yandy Diaz. Let's go with Yandy Diaz. So Yandy Diaz, historically, right? I like to always say historically because you have to take into account a lot of the other performance that he's had. Couple things with Yandy. Yandy's starting to get a little bit hot. Likes to hit in Miami, or also like Caminero in this spot too. So Yandy Diaz, top of the lineup yesterday, had a decent game. He's had a decent series. He's I think look at that, 9 at bats, 3 hits. Hasn't really hit a double or anything yet. So, um, but he's been playing a little bit better. He plays a little bit better away as well. Hasn't really been hitting his stride. He's hitting righties better. Um, Last 30 days, he's starting to get a lot of RBIs, hits. So not a lot of pop. Not a lot of pop. Johnny is not going to be one of those guys. So let's just kind of see Quantrill fastball, right? What we said as number one pitch for righties. Okay. Yandy Diaz is a decent number. So now we're going to go into second most will be the curveball slider. So curveball smashes them. Slider starting to turn around. So this number was -3, -4 at the beginning of the year. Starting to turn that around. And he just likes Miami. He likes to hit in Miami. He's Cuban, so Cuban galore down in Miami. So that's one that I think Yandy Diaz could have a decent number today. So after that, curveball, changeup, we're going to go with a sinker and split. So split finger, sinker has been struggling, so you're probably going to see Quantrill throw a lot of them to them. Sinker, splitter, another thing. So he might lean on those two pitches versus Randy, but now I want to look Caminero. You got to do you can just pick one. You got to look at everything. So fastball, not doing too well against the fast sinker. Then a lot of the other pitches that he features, like the split finger, hits it okay. Curveball, So I'm gonna go with my first gut, and I'm gonna lean on Yandy today to get a double, to get a total bases, and that number should be pretty good. So let's see what that number is for Yandy. Let's see, Yandy Diaz. So Yandy's at plus 115 on the total basis, and the hits run RBIs minus 160. So again, another guy that it's either gonna be the total basis or nothing. So I'm gonna lean on Yandy Diaz. I'm gonna rock with him to a to give it to me. All right. So I think those are gonna be. I'm gonna lean on those four guys for now because I don't want to overdo it. Sundays are weird in MLB. The rest I'm using to do a couple like fun stuff. Um, because at the end of the day, in baseball, Sundays are gonna be very tricky. They're getaway days. That means that bullpens have been pitched all weekend. You don't really know where you're gonna get. Some hitters just are checked out. They want to move on to the next city. Um, so you have to be very mindful what Sundays are in MLB. Sundays are those kind of games. Another game that you guys probably want me to touch on is gonna be this game: Skeens versus Phillies. Listen, I don't care what you say. I don't care how you slice it. Paul Skeens is a beast. Okay? Paul Skeens is a beast, but he can't do it by himself. You know, he can't just go out there and swing the bat. The only thing with Paul Skeens, though, is that when you dig a little bit deeper into it, he's dominated most of the best teams. Strikeouts are there. Not as high as I honestly thought he was going to do, but this is different. Pitching in Philly is different. Some of these lefty guys are going to mash them. You just got to find the guy that's going to mash them. For me, one player that I love today is going to be Kyle Schwarber. I think Kyle Schwarber is one of those guys. The harder you throw, the harder he hits it. That's just the nature of Kyle Schwarber. So Paul Skeens is going to try him. Is going to try to throw a fastball by him. He's going to try um, to do like that velo. But man, I'm telling you, Kyle Schwarber. Look at these numbers. Look at these numbers. But look at this. Okay, the barrel, hard, average velocity. I mean, the dude, he's not chasing this year either. But man, look at this. Look at this. Okay? I'm telling you, Carl Schwarber is probably gonna go deep today. He's probably gonna go deep for the simple fact that it's human nature, right? If you're a pitcher that throws hard, you're gonna lean on that. You're going to lean on that. You're going to try to just blow it by somebody. You're going to try to, stick to your guns, which is okay. It's totally okay. But you got certain guys that that's what they do. They mash baseballs. So when you, as a left-hander hitter, when you're going to see essentially two pitches from Skeen to force him in the split, and you look at Kyle Schwarber, split finger, mashing them, forcing, mashing them, he's gonna get his. So I don't know if I'm gonna. He might be in one of my lays for a total basis, just some pure value. But yeah, and again, obviously you're gonna have a choose money line for you got actually minus 120. um, which to me is a joke. This is a joke, honestly. Take the Phillies and run with it. Um, at the end of the day, like Paul Skeens is not going to go more than maybe 6 innings, and it's just too much. So I will say this is a mispriced of a line just because it's Paul Skeens. I don't care. I'm going to go ahead and take the better team as a whole. So St. Louis and Royals. I'm gonna probably pass on this game. I don't. I hate the Royals offense with a passion. They're so annoying, honestly. Um, Jonathan India might be a guy to like keep an eye on today, but man, this team is so inconsistent offensively, at home, away. Liberatore's been pitching okay, for the most part. It's a pitcher that I typically would like to fade, but they just don't have a lot of people. So I'm moving on. I'm not going to pay too much attention to this game. Um, Chicago White Sox, I'm passing on this game. Um, Bad weather, but not well, bad weather. It's just cold and windy blowing in. So I'm passing on that. And then we got the 4 p.m. games. 4 p.m. games, you got Athletics. This is a game that probably is going to go over today. Springs and Verlander both are going to probably give up a couple runs coming up a 1-0 game. Bullpen usage was probably very high on that game. When you look at it, that's the thing that you got to kind of think about. It's just how many, 2, 3, 4 pitches total use, rope 5 pitches. So I think this is one game that's going to go over as a total. And I think that's probably going to be at 8.5 or 7, even 7.5 because of the stadium where they're playing. I like the over in that game. Actually, it's 8.5. You can get 7.5 a little bit more juiced. But yeah. And then we have, I think this is a big bounce back spot today for the Padres. Brian Wood's one guy that I've been trying to fade in different spots. I think today's a spot to fade him. But overall, I'm just going to share on Twitter my plays. Just a little bit. I know it's a little bit long, 46 minutes, but I kind of want to guys give you a little bit of insight into kind of how I break down my slates, my picks. Nothing crazy. It's just a lot of basics, but also like a lot of feel. Got to get a feel for things. Don't always just lean on the numbers. In my numbers, that's why I run back a lot of stuff. For example, Friday, terrible Friday. I had the Mets money line, running right back on Saturday. I like the team better than the Yankees. Soto didn't get a hit on Friday. Did it again on Saturday. Yeah, sometimes you got to run stuff back. You got to run it back because that is just the nature of baseball. It's a very, very one of those things that you have to trust your gut, trust your process. But I'll see you guys later. I hope you guys have a great Sunday and make some money. So see ya.